I got in a few new makeup products that I wanted to try with you today. It's not going to be a full face. I'm already wearing a little bit of eyeshadow, some bronzer, and I did my brows. But there are just some things I wanted to throw together and just test out. So let's get into it. So the main reason I am filming this video is because I got in the NABLA Lip Candy Oils. I decided to buy the whole set. I have 3 shades or like scents. They are not really like colored lip oils, but they definitely have a very strong different scent to them. The package that you get them in is super cute. This is such a nice kind of like picnic box, like one of the cutest packagings I have seen by NABLA. This is where they come in, and then these all have kind of like this little cardboard packaging that they come in separately. And then the actual packaging of these, I'd say, is pretty cute, but it also feels pretty young, and it also feels a little bit like not cheap because it's very sturdy, it's very weighty, and it looks good, but it feels really like Gen Z makeup in a way. So let's smell these, and I'm just gonna apply one because they're all clear. So here we have honey, and this smells almost a little medicinal. It doesn't smell like super sweet honey. I don't really know what to think of that. It's a little like musky honey almost. I don't know. Okay, next up we have lychee. I love lychee. Very sweet. Really like lychee candy. Like, it's definitely like a candy with a lychee scent or like taste to it. I don't think you're gonna like this if you don't like really strong scents, because this is strong. And then we also have the one in grape. I think if I would have picked only one, it would have been this probably. Very grape-like, and almost a little bit like what the Oden's eye lip products used to smell like, and I love that. I think this is gonna be my favorite. Let's apply. These are supposed to have kind of like a rolling hourglass like applicator. Really interesting. So let's see. Yeah, it's really like rolling over the lips. That is so strange. Very glossy. This is such a weird sensation. Why is it rolling over my lips? Like, even when I apply like this, it's just rolling around. Okay, one dip is definitely enough. It feels really smooth. Very like it's filling in your lip lines. Very thick. It's a very juicy, very thick. If you don't like a thicker lip oil or lip gloss, this is not going to be for you. I do like how this feels. Like, it feels good. The test is gonna be if this really like hydrates my lips. It looks really good, but as I said, it's just like a clear lip oil. I do have more clear lip oils in my collection. Like, I do have a lot of them, but this is looking good. It's looking good. Does it have like the slightest hint of purple? Maybe. Like, is there the slightest hint of a color? I'm just gonna leave this on, and then maybe at the end we can also try the other one, the lychee one. But yeah, so far so good. Alright, so I did a base for my eye look with the Catrice eyeshadow palette from the advent calendar. That is what you're seeing on my eyes right now. And what I want to combine this with, why I don't have a shimmer on the lid just yet, is because I bought one of the Water Eyeshadow Chrome Tech eyeshadows by Kiko. These are new. I didn't realize. I thought these were repromos, but these are new, and these are the like Chrome Tech version. Not all of them are created equal. Some of them are a little bit more like satiny almost. Like, they do have a duochrome, but they are a little bit satiny. This seemed like the most sparkly shade. It's a duochrome from a purple to a blue. Seems really shifty, seems really sparkly, seems kind of like a topper shade. So we're gonna see how this is gonna work. It is more of a drier format. It feels a little bit more baked. It doesn't feel like creamy or putty or anything like that. And yeah, it is just really like this, like almost triochrome type of shade, because we have a royal blue, we have a purple, and then we have almost like a seafoam color. So is this technically a multi-chrome by Kiko? Maybe, it kind of looks like it, so that's pretty exciting. I am just gonna zoom you in a little bit, and then I'm gonna apply that on my eyes. I've had this for a little bit, but actually wanted to use this in my video on the perfumes, but I forgot about it. This is a really textured shimmer. You really feel the texture on your eye and like on your finger. I'm just building that up. I feel like it's sticking pretty well, but it's definitely like super glittery. I feel like having a little bit of a base could be a little better because I do see kind of like my skin through it a little bit because it's so toppery, but at the same time it's so colorful. There's not a lot of fallout. It looks really impactful, but yeah, it's a really interesting formula. Like, it's so kind of glittery, kind of chunky. I think this would be best with a little bit of a base. Like, there's too much contrast now between my eye, like the actual color of my eye or eyelid, and the shadow. But we're gonna repeat this on the other side. Have to be a little bit careful because it doesn't have like a crazy amount of binder in it. It's not a putty shade, so you can get fallout if you take too much and just be too aggressive. But so far things are going well. It almost looks like a pressed glitter, but it's not. Yeah, I did get a little bit of fallout. I'm seeing it now. I did get some. Like, this would be great with a base, with a shimmer primer for sure. But building this up looks really nice. Then you kind of lose that topper-esque quality and it just becomes like a full-on pigment shimmer. Okay, I think this is probably the most impactful eyeshadow I've ever tried from Kiko and maybe even in my entire life. Like, this is so shimmery, so shiny, it's shifty. I do think there's a little bit of user manual to it and I haven't done it like completely correctly right now. Like, I could have done this a little better, but now I know. It definitely needs a little bit of glitter primer, but it's not like extreme. It's not like crumbling. It is working, but I think it could just be slightly better. But I think this is a really interesting formula for sure. Like, it looks really cool. I'm just gonna apply a bit of this shade from the Catrice palette in my inner corner because there's so much going on. I don't think I need another shimmer there. Let's see if this is pigmented enough. Yeah, it's definitely, ooh, that is very pigmented. Very brightening. With the lip oils, I also bought another shade of the Cupid's Arrow. I didn't have kind of like a darker brown shade. I've been using the shade Cappuccino a lot. I've been using it basically every day. But sometimes you just want something a little bit more impactful. And I bought shade Arrow number 2. This is just a brown one. They've had this for a really long time. And also I just really want to see like how this looks on me, if I like it. So it's always a little different, I feel, if the contrast between your actual skin color and the liner is there. Like, it always looks a little different. And in a way, I've been really liking that Cappuccino one because it adds definition, but it's not too dark. Like, this, I have to get used to a little bit. I think it looks good in a viewfinder, but here in front, but here in the mirror, I feel like it's a little crazy, a little out there. Okay, so this is the eye look with some mascara. I definitely think this eyeshadow you shouldn't put on like willy-nilly, just be quick with it or anything. I think it looks super cool, and for the type of formula it is, it did stick on quite well. But there was also fallout on my face. Like, this is something that you really need a glitter glue for, and usually I do not like that. I do often not use certain shimmers because I have to use it with a glitter glue. So I'm kind of excited about it because it's a step up for like Kiko Milano. They're doing different things. It feels more indie. But also, if this were an indie brand, I'd be like, I'd rather go for something else that doesn't need that glitter glue. But at the same time, I'm excited that this is in Kiko Milano's store. So I'm kind of like, what do I feel? What do I feel? I have mixed emotions. That is for sure. Alright, next product I have here, the Essence Cheeky Love Liquid Blush. I feel like this has been around. I feel like this has been re-released. It was in a collection, then they re-released it. And I feel like this was just so popular that they came back with it, but it's kind of like this online exclusive. I've never seen this in a store. It came back in stock at Boozy Shop and I decided to pick it up. This is just called 01 Make Me Blush, and it's in that very typical like sponge applicator. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. We're gonna see. It's a nice kind of like mid-tone, almost berry pink, and I was just curious also because it is pretty like affordable as always from Essence. I don't know, I was thinking it's a little different. Let's try it out. This is not the right brush. This is not the brush I want. Let's do this. Yeah, I feel like with a little bit more of a dense brush, it's blending out more easily. It is quite pigmented. Like 1 dot was definitely enough for my cheeks. How do I feel? I feel like I look a little crazy. A little different than what I'm used to. I don't know. I think it's the eyeshadow. I think it's the liner just throwing everything off for me. Okay, I think I want to grab a little bit more of the blush. Some blushes just need a little bit more pigment to look smooth. But it is very pigmented, so I might regret this. I think it's looking quite good, but I don't know. Seems a little difficult for me to use. Like now it's too much, now it's too pigmented. I am ruining my makeup. Like I like a blushy look, but I feel like the way this pigment sits on the skin, even at this first layer, is just not looking super smooth. And now I'm not really loving it. I'm gonna try and blend it out a little bit with a somewhat clean brush. Sometimes it helps. It could also be that my skin is kind of not working with me today. Yeah, I'm not loving how my cheeks are looking. But I have a highlighter and that might save the day. We're just gonna apply the highlighter. I'm not gonna be blending this for ages like I sometimes do. I don't really love how my cheeks are looking. It's looking patchy. It's looking patchy. Like this is too much pigment gathered in one spot. I feel that doesn't look good. So far. It could be that I use it another day and then I'm suddenly like, oh, that's better than I thought. Like that's better the second time around, but so far, not so good. I decided to finally pick up the Made by Mitchell pressed highlighter. I was like going back and forth on this because it is 20 euros. You do get 2 highlighters and then you also get a brush. But I was just on the fence. I didn't know. And in the end, I got the shade Cash In Quickly. And we have kind of like a golden shade and a more lighter, more cooler tone champagne shade. I think I'm just gonna go with a cooler tone today. I think it's gonna fit the look the most. And we're just gonna try it with the brush it comes with. I mean, you do pay for the brush and you don't have a choice. So let's see how I feel. Okay, it's looking really smooth, but also very metallic. A little like Tin Man metallic almost. Like that is very, very shiny. And there's kind of like a subtle kind of hint of shimmer in there. It's kind of shimmery, but in a smooth looking way. It looks really good. But I don't think this is like an everyday highlighter. But that's also not really what I would expect from Made by Mitchell. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that same shade on the other side. I just take a little bit, but that is already enough. Like a little goes a long way. It has almost like this mirror-like shine to it, but also shimmers. Not chunky shimmers, more like a smooth veil of shimmers, which I don't mind at all, which I often like in highlighters. But yeah, keep that in mind. This type of formula is not for everyone. I think that is kind of like taking the attention away from the blush that I'm not loving that much so far. The lip oil looks and feels really good. I think I'm gonna take this one off. I'm gonna apply a little bit of a lip liner and then I'm gonna apply this one just to see what kind of look that creates, if I like it. Alright, so I used the Plumping Lip Liner by Catrice in Queen Vibes. I use this so much. I feel like I might use it up at some point. Like, not even on purpose, it's just happening. Alright, the lychee one. Let's try it. And see how it combines. It's so extremely sweet. Why do I feel like it does have a little bit of a tint? It was advertised as more clear, but just look at the difference between my bottom lip and the top. Is this a slightly tinted lip product. Like ever so slightly. It looks so juicy. But yeah, you can definitely see, you can definitely tell that the color in the middle is just like my lip color. But in a way it's kind of working. I don't know. Maybe if I blended out the lip liner just a little more, like this is not a lip liner that really blends well, that could really work. I think this is looking pretty cool. I was gonna say this is a finished look, but I think I might apply another blush on top to kind of like just make me feel a little better about it. I also got another shade of the Catrice blush, a Fair Cream and Powder duo. I had two really bright shades and I was just really wishing for kind of like a more nude, more soft shade. This one is called Peach Passion and I've been kind of like afraid of it because it's called peach. I thought it was gonna be like really warm, but in a way it's kind of like this nude rosy vibe, and I just thought, you know what, let's try it. Like the order that I did at Boozy Shop for a few of these products, it was really like the, you know, let's just try it order. Like I'm not gonna probably revisit this duo in a new makeup updates because I've already updated you on the duos, but I could just use this more on the daily. Like I am now using the powder side and I feel like that's making this all look a little bit more smooth. And I feel like it's fitting the vibe. Sometimes you just have to play around a little bit more to get a look to where you want to be. I feel like maybe I'm just a problem. Maybe my skin isn't really like doing what it normally does, what it usually does, and that's just not really working with me right now. I definitely am gonna try those cheek products again. Like this is looking good enough, but I mean the Essence blush, I'm not sure. Alright, the lip oils by NABLA I think are really nice. They feel really nice. They look really juicy, but they don't feel slippery. They don't feel too thick. For me, this is a nice amount of thickness, but I do like a very hydrating, very glossy lip oil or gloss. So keep that in mind. These are not the thin kind. The eyeshadow honestly is kind of crazy. It is almost like a pressed glitter. I have to work with it a little bit more to see like how do I really feel about it. Like it looks really cool right now, that's for sure, but is it somewhat user friendly? That I don't know. The highlighter I actually think is really nice, but it's definitely glittery. Like I see the glitters from this distance, like they are on my cheeks. It's not chunky, but it's definitely there. For me, this would be more like a filming highlighter, party highlighter is something, and things like that. And I think that's gonna be it for today's look, for today's video. I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.